Muhammad bin Fadlallah al-Sarawi. Sayyid Muhammad bin Fadlallah al-Sarawi, honorifically titled as Thiqat al-Islam, also known as Muhammad Thiqat al-Islam, 1880 May 1924, was an Iranian-Iraqi Ja'fari jurist, writer and poet. He has been renowned at the end of the Qajar era, that is the early 20th century, as a bilingual poet in Persian and Arabic. He was born in Pahneh Kola, a village of Sari, to a Tabari Musawi family. He first started his religious educations with his father, then moved to Ottoman Iraq and studied from ulema of Najaf and Samarra, such as Mirza Shirazi. His efforts to promote dawah in Iran failed. As a Twelver Shia mujtahid, he settled in Najaf from 1901 until his death, left behind 2 poetry collections and many books on fiqh. Most of them are manuscript. Biography. His nasab is Muhammad bin Fadlallah bin Qajar bin Mir Rashid bin Hamza bin Uqbayk, and Ibrahim ibn Musa al-Kazim, al-Musawi al-Tabaristani al-Sarawi al-Gavi. He was born and rose in Pahneh Kola, Sari, Tabaristan under Qajar rule. His birth year is unknown. He studied the principles of Ja'fari jurisprudence and Arabic language sciences from his father first, then emigrated to Ottoman Iraq and studied under a group of Najaf ulema, passed some grades, then moved to Samarra and learned from Mirza Shirazi. Then he returned to Najaf and became a student of Habibullah Rashidi for 8 years. After finishing his religious education, he returned to Iran to promote dawah, but failed due to poor public acceptance and produced some antagonism. He returned to Iraq in 1901. In Najaf, he continued his religious scholarly activities, focused on reading, research, writing, and composing poetry in both Arabic and Persian languages. He taught in one of the mosques of Najaf. Al-Sarawi has been isolated from society in his last years, until he died on May 1924/Shawwal 1342 AH in Najaf, Kingdom of Iraq. Poetry. Al-Sarawi was a literary poet in both Persian and Arabic, and his pen name was al-Hashmi or Hashimi. He wrote 2 poetry collections, one in Persian Amr al-Huda 1913 and one in an Arabic Miskat al-Amr, not published. Al-Babtin Dictionary of Contemporary Arab Poets described him a traditional poet. He wrote for the purposes of his time, such as ghazal, praise, rita and poetic debates. What we got from his poetry is a poem, a symbolic ghazal in which he preserved the Arabic traditional poetry forms. Works. Poetry collections.